Alright guys, it is once again that time of the month where I tell you as an NA player what you could be expecting to see hitting our game in the month of October, as we do have a pretty good idea of what we're going to be getting. We should be getting the Halloween trilogy, as this was pretty much just recently announced just a couple days ago, and then that should be followed up by the Halloween event proper, but there are a couple little, I guess you could call them sub-campaigns that we should be getting on the way to Halloween, 2023 for us over here on NA. So we're going to talk about all that and more, but if you just want the long and short of it, it's going to be probably a really slow month, unless they just kind of throw us a curveball, which I'm not really expecting them to do, but we'll talk about some of the curveballs that we could get. So let's just start getting into some of the actual things we might see moving forward this month. Now, everyone is expecting the 24 million download campaign. I mean, even over here on the wiki, they have this posted for the month of October, but this actually didn't come out until November over on the JP version of the game. And so I think what we might actually see is whatever they're going to turn this into, this really is just some minor little commemoration campaign for Grand Carnival coming out, and it brought Ereshkigal's banner. Now, for some reason, I just completely forgot that she got her buff for the anniversary and always thought this is when she got her buff and got really insane, but what I was remembering is that she got her buff and then we got a really good opportunity to get her because she's just on solo rate up, and that's pretty much all that comes with this over here. I mean, you got a little event quest for this CE if you do like that. I mean, it's cute if you watched Grand Carnival, is nice or whatever, but really aside from that, it just brings Ereshkigal, who is really strong at the moment. I mean, she's really good because of the NP buff that they were able to give her. It really helps her damage out a lot, and I've even seen her be able to bust her loop against Saber class enemies if you have her special damage mod, which, I mean, that's pretty good. And obviously, those Saber enemies can't be too chunky, or, you're gonna have to, like, grail your Ereshkigal, but she gets to do some pretty good damage, is what I'm getting at. She becomes a really, really strong unit. I mean, if you can pull her off in the worst conditions against those Sabers, imagine what she can do against Berserkers and, your Archer enemies, even if she has her damage mod, right? Like, she's going to be looking really good. But I suspect we will see this repackaged in some way, because how they typically do these is, think about the Arthur and Ozymandias thing that we got about 2 years ago for Winter, where instead of doing that as I believe it was a CD that was releasing for Prototype, instead of that, they turned it into the Winter campaign. And then even look at the Prisma Ilia, I believe it was the movie release that they repackaged into the Back to School campaign, right? So I imagine they might repackage this, and maybe if you cross your fingers, they give us some quality of life stuff a little bit early, because I believe we're supposed to get quality of life stuff for the 24 million download campaign, but I think we already have the updates over here. Yeah, we already have the speed up button, so we're not going to be getting this. So hopefully maybe they roll that into one of these other campaigns, right? I'm personally hoping for Mighty Chains early. I think that'd be really nice, or Grail casting, that would also be nice. Even Advanced Quest, which we're supposed to be getting, I believe, this New Year's. If they could just roll some of this stuff out a little bit early, that would be really cool to kind of beef up the content we have going here, because it is an Ereshkigal banner. I know people would be excited about this, but if you're not going to be summoning for her, it's just going to be another dead week with nothing really to do. Another thing that we might be seeing is this get repurposed over here, like kind of how we had the movie for Prisma Ilia get turned into the Back to School campaign, the Apocrypha campaign with its, Blu-ray disc box or whatever this was, releasing over on JP, and they brought all the Apocrypha servants back. Maybe you'll see this repurposed. You know what? Even better if they could somehow just get these both out of the way in the same week. Like, drop this on Monday, drop this on Friday. Let's just kind of get these out of the way, because we know that FGO likes to do things like, oh, well, we dropped this banner. All right, that's your content for the week. And, if this was more of a PvP game, then banners sure could be content, but because this is a PvE game, banners aren't really going to be content unless you're specifically summoning on them. Now, I'm looking forward to this one because it does bring back Summer Jean, so that I'm a little excited about. I would like this to come a little bit earlier, but also if they push this back till the end of October, I'm also fine with that, because that means more Saint Quartz for me to save up to try to get Summer Jean over here. But I do think we could see one of these two kind of slide, or potentially even both, slide into the first 2 weeks of October. I mean, if they wanted to do something like this was first week of October, this is the second week, and then this is the third week, and then that's kind of when this stuff ends, and then we start the Halloween event proper, that would be some nice kind of timing if they could do something along those lines. But every time I try to do a prediction like that, I'm like, oh, this would work perfectly. They end up doing something completely far out of left field, or they just don't give us any content at all whatsoever. Now, I already did a video talking about the Halloween trilogy. Long and short of it, you can get these new free-to-play servants. They all get buffs. They're not going to be like super box warping for you, right? Especially if you're like a very well-developed account. But if you're a newer player, this Ellie over here might be able to bring, you know, some good use to your account, and you might be able to use her as like a looper and a wave clear or something if you've got the right setups. But aside from that, nothing a whole lot really going on over here. There's not a whole lot going on. But this is going to be the main shebang for the month of October, going to be the Halloween event proper. Now, the Liz is going to be free to play, and she is rather solid as a free to play servant. You will get some mileage out of her, but I know that not many people care about her. They care about the banners that are coming out for this. So what we have for the new servants over here is going to be Jacques de Molay, and we have Zenobia. Now, if you're wondering, are these servants worth going for? Should you summon for them? I think they're both pretty solid. I think Jacques de Molay is one of the better quick loopers. I believe around the year she came out, around that New Year's, I did my beginning of the year like looping tier list, and I think she was like 5 or 4, so she's pretty high up there. Like, you can get some good mileage out of her, especially because she has that ability where she can just kind of put curse on people, and then she gets a damage mod against them, right? So that's really good for her. You can get some pretty good damage for her as a quick looper. The only problem is that she's a quick looper, right? That's kind of the big problem here, right? Is that, well, she's really good at that one thing, but the problem is you're probably doing buster farming or arts farming. You're probably not doing your quick farming, at least not until Ruler Scotty releases. But hey, if you really want to use Jacques because you think she's cute, you like your goth wifeys or whatever, then by all means go summon for her, and you know, best of luck to you. Now, Zenobia over here, I do have a lot of experience using because I've had her at NP1 for the longest time over here on JP. And I will say, you can use it at Arts Farm. If you're going to use her against, you know, Sabers and Berserkers, she'll do pretty fine. She doesn't have a battery per se, but she does refund her NP every single turn on one of her skills. And even though she probably can't clear most wave 3s, let me just pull her up so I can show you this example. She has her second skill, which bombs some stars. So this can be nice for like third wave, because you don't have to pop this until wave 3. You could just pop these two, go ham on waves 1 and 2, and since you're expecting to probably not take down the main servant on waves 3, you could pop this and she'll absorb the stars, right? Because not only does she get star weight, she's also an archer, so her natural star weight is really high, and she's bombing 20, so she should be able to do some decent enough crits. Now that is, you know, hoping that you have your face cards for Zenobia, but if you're going to use her at NP1, that's probably what you're going to have to do. If you get her at NP2 or 3, I imagine you have to do that less, and she'll perform a little bit better, but I'm telling you, as someone who has her at NP1, you can get some nice mileage out of using her. I do think she is pretty solid. Nothing meta-defining, nothing meta-warping, anything like that, but she is solid if you want to go for her on this banner. Or if you're going for Jacques de Molay and you catch a couple of copies of Zenobia over here, this can be rather nice. Now, I'll do more of an actual event breakdown for this when we get a little closer to this dropping, but you got an interesting 5-star CE as well that's going to be coming. Again, nothing super meta changing, but it can be interesting, right? Giving you the Buster, the NP damage that pairs very nicely with Oberon, and then giving yourself the NP overcharge, right? Maybe you could use that with someone like Melusine, or if you don't have Black Girl, maybe you could use that with, say, Arsuite when she comes out next year, although they also give out Black Grail for free next year, so I don't know why you would use this over that, but maybe you're trying to challenge yourself, I don't know, or maybe you really like the overcharge on Arsuite's NP, I don't know, you know, whatever your prerogative is, you just run with that. But yeah, this is going to be a pretty nice event for you to go ahead and do. Nothing super strenuous, nothing super crazy over here, so don't worry about that. You do have like the point ladder over here, as you can see, which is just kind of nice. But overall, it's not going to be the most insane event of all time. I mean, it's not like the Lotto, the Nero Fest we just got out of, and it's not like the quote-unquote Lotto that Summer 6 was with your treasure chest, but it's still nice to be farming an event that actually has points. As someone that is farming JP right now, it is really annoying that the Wangina event doesn't have like a ladder, it doesn't have missions, there's no like point rewards, there's no bonus anything, it's just the event shop. So I'm going to be looking forward to actually farming this and getting all these extra goodies, because man, sometimes it can be like, yeah, there's these 3 different point ladders, this can be really annoying to farm, but trust me, you miss it when it's gone, right? You miss these things when they're gone because you miss out on all of these extra goodies. And I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get some of these and let's roll with this. Now, there's going to be another summoning campaign over here, but I don't imagine anybody's going to be going for it unless you want to get your copies of Bedivere. This may be a good opportunity to do that. Bedivere is looking more and more solid as we go along, but I mean, if you have NP1 Bedivere, maybe just roll with the Saber Liz you got if you're that desperate for a single target. Maybe don't waste your Saint Quartz on this banner, because even though I think Bedivere's good, I think Napoleon's good, I would rather people probably spend on different banners, especially like if your account is really bad, you know, you could probably just make do with Saber Liz and summon on a more high value banner, like say Koyanskaya later this year, right? While I do think Bedivere and them are good, I don't know if it's that essentially worth going for this unless you really do like Bedivere or you really, really need him for some specific weird mission you're trying to do. I don't know. Maybe you're trying to do like an all defense run through all the bosses in the game or something. You just happen to really need Bedivere. I don't know what weird challenge you're doing. Maybe you're doing the Nuzlocke and you really just, you need to get yourself Bedivere or something. I don't know. You could roll with that. But that's pretty much going to be it for the month of October. I know it's nothing super crazy, super exciting, but just going to be a lot of banners and lead up to this Halloween event. But once the Halloween event drops, it was fun enough. I liked playing this over on JP. November should pick up a little bit more as we move into Guda Guda, where we actually get 2 new 5-star units, which is really cool. The free-to-play is... She's something interesting. We'll cover that next month whenever that hits. But let me know what you're most looking forward to in the comments down below. Let me know if you think we'll see these hit the NA version during the month of October. I don't know. I think we could see these if they kind of want to speed things up just a little bit. Well, not even speed them up, because you could drop these alongside the trilogy, because this is just kind of like an overarching thing that's going on for basically the whole month of October. It's starting a little bit earlier for us, because I think it's starting on the 29th over here on NA, so we're getting it a little bit earlier. And so, you know, I think they could just run other campaigns inside of this Halloween trilogy and just kind of call it a day, because I just don't like having these sit here for a week where it's like, oh, this is your content for the week, it's a banner, because if you're not going to summon on it, you didn't really get anything, and it's back to the dailies gulags with you, right? And that's never fun. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff for daily FGO content. Also, potentially some Samurai Remnant content, because I'm going to be streaming Samurai Remnant for like, I don't know, until I 100% the game, probably. I'm getting all the knickknacks and all the goodies and everything. You know, I've learned a couple of the spoilers as people have been posting it all over Twitter, and I'm getting really excited to go through and kind of just collect everything that I possibly can. So I'm ready for that, but whatever. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.